Hey everyone, I'm Untitled Polo and I'm back with a jungle clear video and a jungle tips and tricks video. So I'm going to just show you guys really quick about 3 or 4 different jungle clears that help really well in patch 9.9. The point of these clears isn't the world's fastest clears or anything. The point of them is to keep you healthy and be able to get level 3 and gank or fight around the scuttle crab. So the first clear is the red to Krug clear, and this clear is the fastest level 3 clear you're going to have right now until somebody finds something different, but as far as I know it's the fastest. So what you do is you start at your red side. Again, I'm not going to have a leash for this video, so you would save about 10 to 15 seconds if you had a leash, so take that into account, but you start your red buff and you start killing your red. You cut the red back, and you want to stay away from it as long as possible. When it hits you once right there, don't turn and auto it right away, or else it will hit you a second time. You want to run through the camps as much as you can to not take too many free hits, especially if you're trying to save health. You're already going to take a few extra hits, so just try to save as much health as you can and have your ganks effective. After you clear red, you go to Krugs. Killing the Krugs is very simple. You can save a lot of health. You just clear them, you bring them out here really quick, and when your Q comes off of cooldown, all you do is you bring it to this side, and you can just run through over here, clear the big one, and then as soon as you get the little one right there, kind of low, you want to bring it back towards the other little ones and kill them with that. You want to hit everyone with all of your Qs, or else you're just wasting some DPS. If the little one here resets, it's not a big deal. It actually saves you a little bit of health. So yeah. Now, from killing the Krugs, you have the option to run straight to your blue to get your blue buff, or you can do the Raptors if you're on a good jungler for clearing the Raptors. I'll show you how to clear the Raptors. All you have to do is attack them, and you bring them out over here. You cast your W. You can keep cutting them back over here, and you want to clear the little ones first. And if they reset, again, it's not really a big deal because you actually save yourself a good amount of damage from with them resetting. Normally, you wouldn't let them reset, but for the sake of this, it's fine. You obviously have a smite to heal up to. I'm going to then go over here and do the blue buff. The blue buff here will give you just enough HP to go and fight for the scuttlebug. You would also be done with that camp, the blue buff, around the time the scuttle's spawning if you had a leash. So you just come over here, you cut around blue. It's not really a hard buff to camp. You just bring it around the wall here, and then when it starts to reset, all you do is you Q over the wall. And when you Q over the wall, you just pretty much never take a hit from blue, and you'll head over here to Scuttlebug. And you'd kill the Scuttlebug. In practice tool, there's only one Scuttlebug spawn, so unfortunately it's not here. After you do that, you could come and check and see if the enemy Raptors are alive. If it is, go kill the Raptors. If you can gank mid or top, go for it. If not, then just go back, clear the rest of your camps, and back. And that's pretty much it for the first clear. It's a very simple clear. If you don't know how to kill Gromp, I'll show you really quick how to kill Gromp very effectively and the wolves very effectively without taking much damage. So you just pull them out around here. You use your W once they get about over here. As you can see, the Gromp has hit me about 3 times, but now that he's used a lot of his empowered attacks and he got hit by Wolf, he gets really low and he doesn't do too much damage to you. You don't take much damage from Gromp at all. You could actually do it a lot better and take even less hits, but it's sometimes resets. For the wolf camp, all you do is come hug the wall, you Q over the wall, and when you Q over the wall, you just wait around here, you kill the small ones first, then you Q back over the wall, and wolf will keep slowing the big raptor. You can walk it around this wall, Q back over it. Just keep running the wolf around. It won't do much damage, especially if you're taking a lot of damage early on. These little kiting things can help you a lot. As you can see, I still have 2 smites, and I did use 1 smite during the clear, but I also have both potions. That's the first clear. I'm now going to show you guys the second clear. The second clear is a little bit... It's something you normally only do if your red buff starts topside. But for the sake of this video, because I'm not trying to make you guys watch a 20-minute video, we're not going to actually reset the game and switch sides. I'm just going to show it to you this way. So all you do is you come to where your red buff spawns, and whenever the red buff actually is about to spawn, you just kill it alone. Normally it's on top side, like I said. And all you do is you clear red buff. After red buff, you're going to ignore the rest of your bot side, or well, red side I should say, not bot side. So you're going to ignore the rest of your red side, and you're just simply going to run straight to your blue side jungle, and you run either straight to the blue buff, or you can run to the wolf camp. It's whichever really you feel like doing. And you'll kill the blue buff. I'm just going to smite this to save a bit of time. But you kill that, and then you run straight to your blue side of the jungle. And You can run straight to blue buff if you think you're going to be invaded or you need the mana, or you can just come straight to wolves, kill the wolves, the same tactic that I just showed you guys, just kite around the wolves, kill the little ones first, and after you kill the little ones, you're just going to kite around the big one. You won't take much damage from him, the big one doesn't really do too much damage in the first place. You then just kill blue buff, again, same trick with blue buff that I just showed you guys as well. You bring it around the wall, you use your wolf here. The camp won't reset before your Q does, so you can just Q it over the wall, wolf will keep vision of it, and then you just keep kiting them around like this, and you then want to go do your Gromp. Doing your Gromp will give you a 4 camp clear, and on top of that, it will also give you just enough XP to hit level 3, while also being ready to fight the Scuttlebug. You do have enough time when you do this clear to go for a gank if you want to, or you can rotate back towards bot side if you want the bot side scuttle. What I tend to like to do is, when I do this clear, I tend to like to go into the enemy's red side of their jungle and see if they cleared their Raptors. If they haven't cleared their Raptors, what I like to do is start the Raptors, and you can also get a little ward here, like you can put a deep ward in right over here, see if they're going to come around here. But I like to take their Raptors and then head straight to the Scuttlebug because it gives you a good amount of XP and it gets you really close to your level 4. Plus you kind of make up for the 2 camps that just get bot lane. So you can then just come over here, you can get the Scuttlebug, and then you have the option to go and gank top or mid if you want. If there's nothing to do top, what I like to do personally, because I'm a very greedy player and sometimes greed helps as a jungler, is I like to try to transition gank mid. What that means is run through mid, and if you can get a gank, go for it. If not, try to get some XP from minions, because if you got the Raptor camp, the XP from minions will get you level 4. It's a very useful thing. I like that clear a lot. I think it's a very great clear to have. Again, if you don't want to do that, you can just go around your jungle, or you can back and just head straight towards your bot side, but then you just got to clear the Raptors. You're not really, like, you don't got to be safe for anything at this point. If your Raptors are still here, then the enemy's probably not going to be in your bot side. And that's that for the second clear. Now, the third clear is a very standard clear, and I call this clear probably it's probably your healthiest clear in all honesty, but it's also a clear that is very good for getting bot lane pressure. Like if you want to get an early gank bot lane, if you want to snowball your bot lane, this is the clear for you because it gives you just a lot of pressure in your lane. So what you do is if your blue buff is topside, you start your blue buff like this. My blue buff is topside, and you ignore your Gromp. So let's kill the blue buff and then we'll ignore the Gromp. And again, as you're just clearing, you just walk around over here. And I mean, you can walk it back up here. Normally with a leash, this thing would already be dead in terms of like when you're cutting it down, but it's okay. So just gotta clear it. I'm not gonna smite this one because I'm gonna show you guys how healthy this clear is even when you don't smite. So you just clear it like that. You use the same trick on the wolves, same trick as always. It's always gonna work. It's always gonna be a good tip. As long as the wall is here, it's always gonna be good for you. You then just obviously let your wolf hit the big wolf. When your wolf hits the big wolf, he actually slows it. If you don't know, wolf does slow camps. I'm assuming you guys know that. And then all you do is you just run straight down to your red buff. And then as you're going to your red buff, you wind up with the option of you can get the red and level 2 gank bot, but I don't suggest a level 2 gank. In my opinion, the level 2 gank is not worth it whatsoever. The level 2 gank tends to be a lot less effective. You have the option here of getting a quick level 3 and while their enemies are level 2 and going to gank them this way, or you can clear the full camp. If you clear just the big big Krug, you get your level 3 and you can run straight to bot lane and you can gank them. If you can't get a gank off bot lane, all you have to do is just full clear the camp, and as you're full clearing the camp, the scuttle crabs will begin to spawn. Now you've got about 15 seconds, even after that you're already level 3, which you can do, like I said, look for a bot lane. If there's no bot lane, that's fine. You can spend the extra time just running straight to scuttle, and you could put a ward around over deep by their blue and see if they're coming around this way. The Scuttlebug will spawn, you'll be able to kill a Scuttlebug again in practice tool, it's not there. Then you have the option to go look for the enemy Gromp. If the enemy Gromp's there, you can look for a dive, the dive's there, or you can just, you know, back and go clear your Gromp because your Gromp's alive. Or you can clear your Raptors. Either one works. You'll get level 4 if you get the Scuttle and then clear another camp. Now, that's why I call it the bot lane pressure gank though, is because you have so much extra time before the Scuttle spawns where you're around bot side and you can get a nice gank off. Kindred's a very good champion at level 3 because their level 3 combo absolutely destroys people, so I really recommend trying that clear. Now, I have one final clear to show you guys. It's a very basic clear, very simple clear, there's not much to it, and it's realistically just really simple. Okay, this clear is what I call the invade clear. Sorry I had to cut it out because I'm in Tard and I did this clear twice and I forgot to buy my jungle items. Sorry about that, guys. But this clear is what I call the invade clear. This clear has 2 stipulations. 1, your blue buff has to be top side. 2, you have to be playing against an enemy jungler who doesn't start their blue, like in a Moo. Or not their blue, their red. You want to play against somebody who is starting their blue, like a Moo. So what you do is first you start your blue buff. You clear your blue buff whenever you can. I'm not going to smite it, just make sure you save as much HP as possible here. But you need to kill your blue buff and then you need to go straight to your Gromp. After you kill your Gromp, you're going to invade. And this works very well against champions who, like I said, start bot side because they're normally going to do 2 camps bot side because their bot side is their blue side and their blue side tends to have the least damaging camps and the least lengthy camps. So as soon as you clear your blue and your Gromp, you want to run straight through the Baron Pit. You want to queue over this wall. You want to go straight to the enemy red. And you then want to kill the red as fast as possible. You want to have your smite available for this. So as soon as you can, just get it low. When it's low enough, you're just going to smite it. And then you want to queue over this back wall. After you queue this red buff, and then you queue over the back wall, you want to kill their big Krug. You want to make sure it's just the big Krug and nothing else, because the enemy jungler should be kind of close. But you can kite back and clear the little Krug as well, but you get level 3 off of just doing that, and then normally you want to get out of the enemy jungle there, because if you're caught at the Krugs, the enemy top laner can easily rotate right to you along with the enemy jungler, and they can both kill you very easily. You then have the option to go back into your bot or your top side jungle and clear, or you can go gank mid or top yourself. A lot of times though, it's not really worth just trying to go check their Raptors because their Raptor's not alive. So what I tend to do is I would tend to come over here back into my my top side jungle, and I tend to clear my wolf camp, and then I would just run straight to the Scuttle Crab. Because it gives you 4 camps, or actually 5 camps, excuse me, and then you can kill the Scuttle Crab. You normally get left with just a tad bit of XP under being level 4, so what you can do is you can, if you get all these camps again, you can transition gank mid. Now the transition gank mid is really important here if you can get all 5 of those camps, because if you transition gank through mid and you get a couple minions worth of XP, you're going to get your level 5, or yeah, you'll get your level 5 this clear. As you can see, I get my level 4 from the transition gank that you would be doing. Then you just run straight to bot side. You start your Raptors while you still have, you know, your buff and stuff. And you want to clear the Raptors. After you clear the Raptors, you just full clear your bot side. You'll get level 5 off this clear, and you would have had the potential to gank top and mid through this clear. And if you still have any mana left, you could also go gank the enemy bot side. Now remember, League's an adaptive game, so there's always a chance that you might have ran into the enemy jungler doing an odd path, or an enemy rotating and warding and stuff. But under the assumption that people are just playing standard right here, you'll have a pretty easy clear, you'll get a ton of camps, and you'll get yourself ahead here because you will get yourself to level 5 much earlier than the enemy jungler. I'm just going to smart one of those Krugs. As you see, that gets you level 5, and boom. You just simply get to what you want. It's under 5 minutes here, so you could also then go back and then start clearing your top side again that's respawning, or you could go and try to gank bot or mid or whatever. You'll have a ton of extra time with this, and it gets you level 5 very, very fast. Now, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. It's a very good clear. Okay, and I have actually one more clear to show you. This is what I call the greedy clear. It's about the greediest clear you can do, but it's also a clear that pretty much guarantees you a lead. So you start at your blue buff, and you do your blue buff. This clear, actually, you will keep up in clear speeds with some of the fastest clears in the game, like things like Karthus and stuff. If you, say, started bot side on your blue and you had a leash from 2 people who are really good leashers, like, say, Braum, or, I don't know, Draven, or Zyra, or something like that. But you just start your blue side, and you're essentially going to literally full clear the entire jungle, and it actually gets you really, like, it almost guarantees you're going to have some kind of a gold lead or XP lead early on in the game, as long as you just get all of your camps. Now, you have to do this clear against somebody you know who's not going to invade you early on. Like, you have to do it against junglers who you know who aren't the type of people who like to invade. So you just full clear your entire jungle, you start at your blue, you go to Gromp, then you do Wolves. After Wolves, you just go straight to your Raptors. The reason you're full clearing is because you can actually do something with this clear where you can put 2 points in your Q if you want to clear a little bit faster, because you don't really use your E much when you're going to jungle, and your Q being off cooldown in a shorter amount of time in your W actually helps clear even faster. So it's definitely a well worth thing to try. Now, there is a few things about this clear that are risky. Like I said, if you're playing against a jungler who can invade you early on and, say, jump on you, kill you, you know, murder all your stuff, it's going to be a little bit harder because you're not going to have red buff to clear. And if it's somebody who's going to just, like, clear your camps really fast, they can just start their blue and go straight to your red, and you can lose it. Something like a Lee Sin comes to mind in that regard, and it's pretty bad. But as you can see, you just have to clear like this. When you clear like this, you'll have 2 smites and stuff, and then you could just go straight up the Scuttle at this point. Remember, this is with no leash, and I'm only about 10 seconds behind when Scuttle spawns, so with a leash, when you save that time, you would be up here at the Scuttle ready to go. I'm already level 4 before I even would go to the Scuttle, and that means you would have about a 1 to 2 level lead when you fought for Scuttle. You just come straight up here, you just kill it, and you could easily go for an invade at this point, depending on what the enemy jungler decided to clear for his first few camps. You could then say, you know, fight, you could go gank bot or mid, or you could come in here and just be like, hey man, I wonder, is the enemy's Gromp up? You could see the enemy Gromp, take the enemy Gromp. This clear will almost always net you an XP lead and a gold lead if you don't get invaded. So it's good against champions like, say, somebody who's not really too good at invading. Like, again, an Amumu comes to mind because Amumu's being played a lot right now. Even a Nunu, because a lot of times Nunus won't invade too much early on. Anything that's just kind of scared to invade, it tends to work really well against, and it's a very useful thing. Now, I'm going to show you guys really quickly about 3 or 4 useful tricks. I'm going to show you guys just a bunch of things that people don't know about Kindred, and I hope you guys all enjoy. I'm very new to making these type of videos. If you guys like tips and tricks videos like this or things and you want some informative videos like this more often instead of just gameplays like I've been doing, let me know and I'll add these into the mix occasionally. But, see you guys. Now, I'm going to show you guys really quick 3 tips. One of the tips I already have pre-recorded. It's for champions that aren't Kindred, but I'm going to show you 2 quick tricks that actually work very well for Kindred. It's very important that you know these things because it can make a very big difference for jungling here. So, the first tip that I have for you is, for one, you can queue over this wall here. If you don't have the blast point here and you're stuck in the enemy jungle and you went invading, if you don't know how, you can just, you see this big crack in the wall right there, all you gotta do is just click on the big crack in the wall right there, get on it, like you just want to run straight into that crack, put your mouse where my mouse is here right on the edge of this log, queue, and you will queue through that wall. Pretty much easy, guaranteed. Now, you can also do that with all thick walls. What you do for the red wall is you just come right here, like into the thicker part of the wall. You put your mouse right there in between those trees, queue, and you're over the wall. Same works for this side. All you do is you walk up to this part of the wall, the pretty thick part of the wall. You see this little like line right here on this rock. All you gotta do is queue over it, practice, and you'll be able to get it done a lot faster. The same works for topside. There's a few different spots to put it for topside. You just gotta come over here on topside, walk into the wall right about here. And once you walk into the wall right around here, you can just put your mouse over here right on the side of this tombstone queue, you'll get over the wall, and then vice versa, you just walk under the wall, under this little branch right here, put your mouse right here on the edge of this wall, and you can queue this wall as well, as long as you don't fail like I just did. And you then you know you look like a tard, but There you go. You can also queue over this wall as well. This wall is a lot harder to queue over, and it's not really worth the time because you have to position yourself like perfectly for it, and it's a very hard one for me to do. Like right there is how you do it. It's a lot harder to do though, and I don't really recommend trying that one because it's very fluky and doesn't always work perfectly. Now, the final tip and trick that I'm going to show you before I cut to the other part of the video is also a very, very useful tip. So first, a lot of people ask me how I kill jungle camps without clicking on them, like how do I kite them around without clicking on them. I use attack move. And the way you know if your attack move is enabled is, as you see, whenever I click here, I'll turn off colorblind mode to show you guys this, your normal mouse clicks are green when you click, but if you attack move on, they'll be red. Or if you have colorblind mode on like I do, they'll be orange. So attack move is a very simple key. It means whenever I attack this camp over here, as you can see, if I click away, I don't do anything, I don't attack it, nothing happens. But if I attack move, I'll attack the thing that's closest to me. So all I do to kite around is I'll say, click over here, attack move, click over here, attack move, normal move, attack move, normal move, attack move, normal move, attack move. The way that you set your attack move key is you go into your hotkeys and then you want to open up the tab that says player movement down here. You look for player attack move click. What I normally do is I bind mine the shift mouse button too, so my normal right click is my move, my shift right click is my attack move. Normal, shift, normal, shift, normal, shift. Well, I kind of did it backwards there. So that's one way that it's very useful to be able to kite like that, because you can then just kite like this, you can just do this, and then you're just like, you really don't need to ever click on the camp again, and you can just keep your mouse over here. It's very useful if you just want to have some easy kiting and you don't really like need anything else to do. There's that. Now another trick that I'm going to show you guys really quick is how to click through camps and towers and things. This is very, very important for when you're trying to dive. Now, luckily due to practice tool I can show you this very easily. Now, as you see, there's a target dummy right under the blue buff. I can't click it whenever the blue buff's on top of it. You saw me just try to click it, it doesn't work whenever the blue buff's on top of it. I attack the blue buff. Now, how would I go about, not like hitting the blue buff? How would I go about just, somehow clicking on the champion under the blue buff or under the tower or whatever that's blocking it and having nothing in my way? Well, there's a key for that as well. So for me, I have mine bound to shift left click, so I shift left click and then you see the middle of my mouse cursor turns red. I can then click on the target dummy and I can click and just simply run straight through blue buff. I can run straight through that, no issues whatsoever. Can run through Gromp, no issues whatsoever. I'm clicking on Gromp, you see I'm not attacking it. So the way you have to bind that key is you go into your hotkeys again and you see abilities and summoner spells. Don't ask me why they bound it down here. I don't know. For some reason it's not in the movement, but it's whatever. You go to the bottom of abilities and you find target champions only. Now again, I have mine bound to shift left click and that enables it. Shift left click middle of my mouse, hold it turns red, so while I hold left click I can then click through everything perfectly fine and just run straight through it and nothing happening. As you can see, blue buff's directly on top of it. I can attack the champion under it. Those are two really important things, or I guess a few really important things with all the wall hops and stuff as well. Now I'm going to show you guys a trick with AoE champions such as Evelyn to stay really, really healthy in the jungle that all new players should know if they're playing something like Evelyn, Hecarim, Kane, anything. I'll show you guys that now, and I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I know it's not flawless and it's not the best, whatever, most edited thing in the world. I know, but it's there to be there. So anyways, hope you guys all enjoy. See ya. Okay, for my next tip, it's champions with AoE abilities who also have kind of bad clears but don't need the machete. They have a trick where they can stay pretty much full health in the jungle at any point. I'm going to show you two tricks here. As you can see, the red buff just spawned. I'm going to let the red buff kind of get me low really quick. And for champions like, say, for example, I'm using L1 for this, you can also do it with Hecarim, you can also do it with Kane, anything really that you use the talisman on. Essentially, you see I'm about half health, all you have to do is walk past the Raptor camp and hit it with your talisman and your AoE abilities, and every single monster you hit will heal you for 30 health. So as you can see, my health just went back up there, And it worked anytime you walk past the camp. As you see, they reset, and I can just come back and do it again, and I'll instantly go back up to full health. And there's nothing that the Raptors can do. Now, there's also a trick where if you're a champion who's got a longer ranged ability, you can actually perma heal while doing red buff without needing to kite it. And the way you would do that is you'd walk up to the Raptors and hit it, and then right around here, you throw your Q at the red buff. As red buff comes around over here, you want to Q right around here, because now the Raptors are going to reset, but as you're doing red buff, because you put the burn on them with your talisman, the Raptors are going to keep coming back. But because they reset, you're going to have them keep coming back and giving you full heals, because you're hitting them every time after they reset, and there's not much of a risk or anything to that. As you can see, I just stood still, tanked the entire red buff, and I'm back to full health. And then you can just walk down here and kill the Raptors immediately afterwards, and because they reset again while you were doing that, they'll actually give you even more healing. So it's just a little trick that for champions like Evelyn's one of the best at abusing this trick. It's something I learned a few years ago when I was playing Evelyn's first rework. But I just wanted to show you guys this trick because it's a very useful thing, because I do know some people who play Evelyn do watch me, so I thought I'd include that one in there for you. But I hope you guys enjoy that little trick right there, and we'll see you guys in a moment with the next jungle clear with number 3.